Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering Rogue, who happens to be the members pick of the month. She made her first appearance in Avengers Annual, issue number 10, that was released in August of 1981. Her real name is Remy LeBeau, taking the last name of her husband, who's the well-known Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit. And she's a very well-known and powerful mutant that stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing 135 pounds, also having green eyes and brown hair that has a distinctive white streak. Now, Rogue's trademark superhuman ability is her being able to absorb the powers, energies, memories, psyche, knowledge, talents, and personality of any sentient being. And due to this, at varying points in her career, she's had maxed out stats in every category, despite at her base level just being a normal athletic female. For the vast majority of her life, she retains these absorbed abilities roughly 60 times the amount of time she was in contact with the being, showing that it's temporary except in a handful of situations in her life, particularly when she seemed to permanently keep the abilities of Miss Marvel for a long time, as well as the extended keeping of Sunfire's powers when she accidentally absorbed the last bit of his life force. And most recently, she seems to have permanently absorbed Wonder Man's powers, which has once again made her a major heavy hitter. Taking on his ionic energy absorbing form, she now has vast superhuman strength, durability, stamina, speed, agility, flight, and functional immortality. Now, I also have to note that at varying times, she's waffled in between of not being able to control her powers and briefly having spells where she can control them. And now her powers have even evolved to the point that she can absorb the psyche and abilities of those that are within a certain range of her, without making direct skin-to-skin contact. So thank goodness that the most recent word on her is that she can now actively control the tactile and remote absorbing abilities that she has. Now, Rogue's storied history begins with her being born to hippies in Mississippi, where family mishaps would eventually lead to her being a rebellious child and running away from home, which garnered her the nickname Rogue. And when her mutant abilities manifested when she was a teenager, it would come at the cost of a boy she was interested in named Cody Robbins, he being permanently left in a coma after she kissed him. This would lead to Rogue becoming a recluse, shying away from most social interactions, although she's naturally a very outgoing person. But one day she'd be approached by Mystique and Destiny, with Mystique kind of adopting her like a daughter. And eventually Mystique would use Rogue's loneliness and bitterness to recruit her to be part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Rogue would battle alongside of them against superheroes for many years. And one fateful day while fighting against Miss Marvel, Rogue would seem to permanently absorb her superhuman strength, durability, and power of flight. And although she'd used this new superpowered form to fight alongside her cohorts for many more years, even being with a small band of them that renamed themselves the Sisterhood of Evil Mutants, Rogue would become increasingly more distraught at not being able to control her powers and from having Carol Danvers' memories in her head. This would eventually lead her to turn to Professor Charles Xavier and the X-Men for help. And after an invitation from Charles for her to join them, she would turn over a new leaf and actually become an X-Man. During the subsequent years, she would grow closer and closer to Gambit, eventually falling in love with him. So it's unfortunate that just as she seemed to be getting her stride and stepping out of depression, the villain named Pandemic would infect her with the 88 virus, causing her skin to become instantly lethal to anyone she touched. Additionally, her beating Hecatomb and absorbing the psyches of over 8 billion different entities, along with a surprise attack on her by Mystique and the Marauders, who were working on part of Mr. Sinister, left Rogue in a catatonic and seemingly terminal state. It would actually take Mystique turning around to save her life by making the infant Hope Summers touch Rogue's face, which it was prophesied in the words of the Destiny Diaries that the first mutant baby born since M-Day should have the capacity to take away Rogue's lethal touch and all of her absorbed powers and memories and restore her from her comatose state. A while later, after she recovered, Professor X would help her remove the mental blocks that had formed when she used her powers, which then allowed her to control them for the very first time. Although, as I stated earlier, it wouldn't be the last occasion that she would fall out of control of her abilities. But either way, she would eventually follow Wolverine to the new Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, loving her role as a teacher and mentor there, and she would eventually join the Avengers Unity Squad. Although this would come a time after she joined in the fight with the X-Men in the Avengers vs. X-Men storylines. Since then, Rogue has gone on to have many different heroic adventures, with her powers evolving more and more. And one additional good thing is that she seems to have truly found her peace and love in Remy LeBeau, with she and Gambit literally having an impromptu wedding during the called-off ceremony between Kitty Pryde and Colossus, who at the last minute had decided not to get married. Now, due to her powers and abilities and her influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Rogue a rating of 9, which is an epic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.